So let me start off by asking, now be specific about this question. What predators have you seen? Not that you've heard about, not chupacabras, not Sasquatch. Which ones have you seen?
I call a rat a predator.
That's a good one. Rat?
And a raccoon, I've seen them.
Yeah.
At the house, and the possums.
Skunk.
Skunks, thank you. I've had those four. Owl.
Man, I can only write so fast. Okay. I missed one after Scott.
And my husband, I didn't see it. My husband did a coyote.
Coyote, yeah.
Lost. Right up Furry Lane.
Rat, snake.
Yeah, snakes.
Snakes.
Dogs. Yes.
Yeah, my neighbor's dog.
The worst.
Got quiet.
I had a rock squirrel kill on my chest.
A squirrel.
A rock squirrel, kind that dig in the ground and got underneath the coop and up on the free floor and
And it's
it
called
hauled it off.
a rock squirrel.
A rock squirrel. It's black-headed. It's not a gray squirrel or a red squirrel. The rock squirrels in all western town.
Okay. Adding to dogs, I like cats.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're terrible. So you know the expression, everything likes to eat chicken? I mean, even chickens like to eat chicken.
Yeah.
It's not a short list. And as you go to different parts of, even if you go, let's say, to Minnesota, weasels will go in and kill 50 chickens in a night because they enjoy killing it. They don't eat anything, they just kill them. So predators, and you've got predators coming from all directions. You mentioned digging by, is it by land or by sea? One land or two? Well, we need about 6 choices. They come by the air, they come underground. Some of them are just virtual ghosts. Like, I never saw anything come. And I had a friend who once spent all night trying to catch some coyotes. Did this for about a week or so. Never saw them. But you know they're there. And the thing with predators is that the way a predator stays alive is by not being seen. Because as soon as they're seen, they're shot, trapped, you name it, we're out to get them. Should add armadillos because cars go after those things. Let me ask another question. Who lives in different areas? Who lives in town, kind of more of a suburb versus out in the country? First, who's in town? That's about half. Who's more suburbs, but you don't have 2 acres? Okay. And then who's on like 2 acres, 5 acres, 100 acres? So actually quite a few. Okay. As you know, the more land you have, the more predators are coming around. In town, some of these things, coyotes, yeah, they kind of exist a little bit. Actually, another one I'll add for us folks who live in the country, feral hogs. And actually, I heard we're starting to come to town, so welcome to some of our travels. But yeah, coyotes are big. My neighbor's been seeing a pair of foxes quite a bit. They're beautiful unless you see them at your coop. So it's a long list, and a lot of people, when they're designing their coops or trying to protect their birds, they're trying to protect them from this predator. And this is the worst. Not grandkids, but neighbors. And you can't trap them, you can't shoot them, you can't poison them. It's terrible. For some of us, the solution is to own your neighborhood. And then you've got really good neighbors, but they're half a mile away. I've got the best neighbors in the world. I love them. But they're half a mile away. But what was I saying? For the different predators, understanding what their attack mode is, because everyone, I don't know who was there last month, where we did a little tour of Carla's, but she had padlocks on her egg boxes. I mean, that's a little bit of overkill. But she said she had they were all the same key, she had like 40 of them. Okay. people tend to think in terms of how is one person going to get in here. You know, they're going to break in through a door. No, they're not. They're going to come through every means possible. Because their life depends upon A, not getting caught, and B, finding something to eat. If a predator doesn't eat for a while, they don't do very well. So, understanding how they attack, when they attack, and the when, everything I'm going to talk about is kind of general guidelines. There's exceptions to everything. I've seen coyotes at noon. I've seen coons mid-morning. Matter of fact, I was at Mark's last weekend and I saw the raccoon walking the back porch and eat his dog food. And I'm like, Mark, shoot her. You didn't want to. It's like, oh, she's starving. Let her. Because there's a female spring. There's babies in there. But there's generally when they're going to attack. And there's also, in terms of, we're talking about, leaving for vacation, not locking up your animals. It sounds like you've got a pretty good run, with the hardwire cloth instead of chicken wire. Chicken wire is a nice suggestion. I mean, like a lot of people, I don't steal cars. I hope none of you do either. But people that try and steal cars, you would think, okay, the first thing to do is go and check the lock. If the door's open, then they get in and try to break in. Well, that's the first line of defense. A good car thief, they're going to look for a crack in the window. They'll break your window. They'll find your spare key. They'll jimmy it. Predators are like a good car thief. They're going to test everything, every angle. They can take their time. It's the middle of the night. They're not going to be there for 4 hours, but they might spend 20, 30 minutes at your coop because dinner's inside. They just need to figure out how to open the oven door. Okay, so let me start with fundamentals. The first thing is think like the predator. Just as I was saying, don't just think about the door. Think, a coon's going to tear in through something. Chicken wire for a coon is a nice suggestion. Rip, it's gone. For snakes, they can come through tiny holes, and snakes aren't typically going to attack your chickens, but chicks are very susceptible to them. Eggs, they love eggs. Some of the things like the coyotes and foxes. You also have to look at what's the evidence. The biggest problem with predators, and here's where I'm really strong about preventing them in the first place. You lose a chicken, okay, not a huge deal. But it is like animals have this internet. And the coon comes over, takes one of your chickens, and he goes, hey, Bob, the Andrew Farm chickens all you can eat buffet. Hey, Harry the Scouts, come on down. You would think they've got internet set up because once they come and you lose that first one or two, then it becomes a rampage. You might as well just get them on yourself because they're going away. So that's the big thing about prevent the first time. If they don't attack the first time, the follow-ups and the wildlife internet doesn't get your address. So I want to focus on that. Another thing, I mentioned this with snakes, the young birds, when they're up to a month old, anything looks at them funny, they fall over dead. It's terrible. I had some ducklings we were raising last year, and I had this 4x4 pen that I thought was impenetrable. I mean, it's actually an aircraft storage box. It weighed probably 200 pounds. I go in there, and my ducklings are all dead, and one of them looks like it had taken a bath. And sure enough, a snake had gotten in, killed each one. It tried to eat one, and it couldn't swallow it. It was too big for it. But it didn't stop him from killing all my chicks, my ducklings. So when they're younger, they're extremely vulnerable to the snakes and the everything. Some of these things like a skunk's not going to necessarily attack a full-size chicken, but a chick is great. They'll go. They're omnivores. They'll eat anything and everything, and they leave a great scent. Cats.